Lunchtime is over. KJ here with the afternoon session of day 8 of the Lori Daybell trial. Nate Eaton has created a new thread saying we are back from lunch. The prosecution and defense are ready to proceed. As the attorneys meet in the corner of the courtroom with Judge Boyce, Lori turns in her chair to face them and take notes. No white noise played in the courtroom today. So anyway, let's all get ready for whoever's up next. As we were told earlier before lunch, the next witness is fairly lengthy. So my mind is kind of wanting to not think about this, but what if this was like the medical examiner or somebody? I'm trying to think of somebody who has a lot of testimony. So we'll just have to wait and see. But good afternoon, Jen Marr, Tina Reddington, Fiona Gregory, Harley62, Solo Dove, who says it could be the pathologist, TJ's Race, Angela Donmeyer. Please let me know, Angel, why there's no court tomorrow. Hi, RDNAC, Renee, CC Johnson 67, CIM, Jody Allen, Betsy's Barn, Chris Arnett, Just Deborah, K-Tech, Stella F, Edie Ruth. The reason things are up a little bit on my screen here is because I had to plug in my phone because 3+ hours of the morning has wore it down and I couldn't get it charged up quick enough. Rachel Smith says the trial is moving much quicker than originally thought, and prosecutors propose taking tomorrow off. Okay, well, there you go. Some of y'all are on top of this. The defense has no problem with this, so there will be no court tomorrow. Hi, Mariah Stola. That's right, just looking. Rachel Smith says the trial's moving much quicker than originally thought. Well, how about this? Every day that these victims' family members have to be in Boise there is every day they're going to have to pay for hotel rooms and all this and that. Can we not get this on the road? Can we not do that? Thank you, Jabberday. Yeah, Jax, another day of money. Every moment that they have the early lunches and the times off and all this and that that's money. That's money. That's what it is. But I guess we have to look at the flip side of that. This will also be good for jurors to take a breather. I mean, Jody Allen, why have you ever heard? When we watch these criminal trials on wherever, where it's Law and Crime or Court TV or wherever, do you ever hear them saying, well, the trial's going along pretty quick, it's clicking right along, let's just take tomorrow off? It don't make any sense. Okay, we have found out who this lengthy witness is Fremont County Sheriff's Officer Detective Bruce Mattingly is called to the stand. That's right, Katara. It is ridiculous, isn't it? Renee's like, I've never heard of a break like that. Hello, Marie Burks. That's right, Curly Shirley. Love you too, Tracy June Stafford. Fiona says, give the secretaries off too. Erna Ansford says, they've been dragging this trial out for over 2 years. Why would you expect anything less? Okay, y'all. So Detective Bruce Mattingly has been called to the stand, and he is going to be questioned by Spencer Ramel. Anna Brown says they need to keep it moving. Jennifer S. Linger says, thanks, Idaho taxpayers, for another all expense paid 3-day weekend. Tina Reddington, can you believe it? Ain't too much we hadn't seen, huh, girl? And just when you think you've seen it all, something else pops up. Harley 62, are you laughing at me? Harley 62, are you laughing at me? Right, Missy Cat. Maybe they need more time to get their ducks in a row. You would think, just as I think it was Maria Burke said, they've had, well, it's been 4 years plus 2 years since, over 2 years since they both got thrown in jail waiting this trial that we never thought was going to happen. Edie Roo says, Idaho has to be the most backward-ass state in the USA. Hi, Laney the Wolf. Good afternoon, Ron Hensley. A 3-day work week. Well, that shouldn't bother Lori too much. She don't work no ways. Now, Detective Mattingly has been a detective for 6 years. Spencer Ramel asked Mattingly about January 3rd of 2020. The detective says a search warrant was executed that morning at Chad Daybell's house. FBI was on the scene and police took evidence from the house. Mattingly says he and Lieutenant Joe Powell took the items to the sheriff's office in St. Anthony. And y'all remember this? This was when all the snow was on the ground. And they took a bunch of journals, phones, computer devices. Remember we've always talked about, wonder what they have on them? Maybe, just maybe, this Detective Mattingly will fill us in, folks. Trace on the case says, no, it's Arizona that's got the issue. Remind me never to go to Idaho if I come to America, says J. Blake. You know, when Wayne and I went to Idaho, though, J. Blake, it was beautiful there. The people were very nice. And if you really think about it, when all this happened with JJ and Tylee, the whole community of Rexburg, they were so devastated. So there are good people in Idaho. We should know this. There's a lot of crazies, and no matter what states you live in, I'm sure some people have said even I'm crazy, you know? That's true. Lori isn't representative of Idaho. Lori, she's originally from California. Legally blonde. Yeah, amazing, Lynn. I think you've been around long enough to see how crazy old KJ gets. I've had several people tell me, who are you and why are you like this? And I'm like, guess what? I am the only me I'm ever going to be. And if you don't like it, leave. I don't care. I honestly don't. I do love people and all that, but my gosh, I'll tell you what, I have a right to my views and my opinions. And if people don't appreciate that or don't like them, they don't have to listen to them. They can go somewhere else. They want me to listen to them about their views, but they can't stand to listen to my views when it don't line up with their confirmation bias. That's all I'm going to say on that. Are you kidding me? Madeline says on January 15th, he took the electronic items seized from Chad's house to the FBI Intermountain West Computer Forensic Lab. And then Spencer Ramel has no further questions for Madeline, but he remains under subpoena because he will testify later in the trial. The defense has no questions for the detective. So, y'all, this Detective Madeline ain't gonna tell us anything. He's just authenticating evidence, letting the jury know that he's the one that sent all this stuff off, and he's the one, him and this detective pal. So I want to know who this lengthy witness is that they're talking about. Right, CIM. But I still think Detective Madeline has a lot to say. All right, y'all. The next witness is FBI intelligence analyst Benjamin Dean. Now, will this FBI intelligence analyst, will he be getting in specificity for us? Let's hope so. Hi, wise old lady. Yes, Lisa Pitcher, an intelligence analyst for the FBI. Angel Donmeyer says cell phone data. Oh, goodness. Well, that's good, Hope Grace. You're on a break. I'm glad you're here. Solo Dove says emails, texts, OMG, loin fire. Alice X, no, you haven't missed much. Detective Mattingly came on the stand to say what they had collected some evidence at Chad's residence on January of 2020. Remember when all the snow was on the ground? That was basically it. The defense had no questions, and now they've called to the stand an FBI intelligence analyst, Benjamin Dean. Or Benjamin instead of Benjamin. Benjamin. Kathleen Curtis, some people just can't have their way, I guess, and so they want to attack old KJ. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't care. I honestly don't. Y'all don't see things that go on behind the scenes either. And I wouldn't share it with you even if I felt like I needed to. I wouldn't do it because it's just, all people have negativity, including myself from time to time. Now, this FBI intelligence analyst works in the Salt Lake City field office on a criminal investigation squad. His main job is to analyze information and to make assessments on specific threats. He reviews information collected by agents in the field looking for trends and patterns in electronic devices. That's what I talk about, Carla Cassidy. There are 50 million plus really, but at least 50 million YouTube channels. Karen Holland wants everyone to know that Ada County really doesn't roll like this, but this is East Idaho prosecution and staff. It's a good point, Karen. Thank you, Gloria Fritz. And most of the people that know me and have known me for 2 years know my motivation. They know I'm a real person. I have my own issues, my own problems. I'm no better than anybody else. But just as I've said many times, If you walk into a store and you see somebody stealing a candy bar, is it judging them to call them a thief? Thank you, T. Thank you, Little Bronze. Hey, listen, folks. There are plenty of the Rays on here that have disagreed with me over this 2-year period, over a lot of issues. It's called mutual respect. If I say something and I want other people to understand that I have a right to say that, then if they say something, they should be able to feel the same way. But the bottom line on that is that people only want to hear what they want to hear. Not everybody. And people do not have to agree with me. But I've had everybody accuse me of misleading them or all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, this FBI agent, basically, he's an intelligence analyst. His involvement in the Daybell case was to review tips that came in following a press release issued on March the 5th of 2020. Tylee and JJ had been seen at Yellowstone National Park, and the news release requested anyone who had visited the park with photos or videos to send them in. Yeah, Jody Allen, I'm going to try to give it a try on this witness. It does seem like things are, because they have talked about the tips before. Some of the testimony before was all tips were looked into. Maybe we'll see something here, though. Let's just give it a chance. As many of y'all know, when it comes to these criminal trials and stuff, sometimes the testimony isn't exactly blockbuster, but it can and does have importance and fills in some blanks for some. Some people are really, really interested in this stuff and how they do things. I don't know about y'all, but I'm more of a let's get to the meat of everything. I'm very impatient, but impatience is impatience. I've got to learn to take it in stride. Now, I'm going to call this FBI analyst here Dean, because that's how Nate's got him on here now. Dean was also asked to review electronic devices. Dean was also was asked to review 2 Blu-ray discs seized from Chad Daybell's house. Ramel asked about the second disc, and Dean says the disc belonged to Seth Daybell, Chad's son. The second disc, y'all. That first disc. Now, is anyone even interested in to know what was on that first disc that old Chin had? Could this be he got his dancing partner there, Lori? Maybe that's on there. Maybe it's him recording himself talking crazy again. Maybe it could be all kinds of things. It could be damning, and maybe it's not, but maybe it could be. Maybe he actually says something in there that points to them actually saying the children need to be murdered or whatever. We've got to give us a chance. So one of these discs does belong to Seth Daybell, but the other one, we're going to find out what that's all about. Tina Reddington makes a point, and I want to remind the Rays on here. If you see something that bothers you, if it's a bot, if it's some derogatory remarks, if it's just someone being an asshole, just block them. You can report them or you can ignore them. And the more people that report, the more whoever's doing that is going to get a message from YouTube and probably will get kicked off. Because people do that, don't you know? They create these dummy accounts because they don't want no one to know who they are. They can't be courageous enough, I guess. Now, Marge Somerville, it wasn't... well, it was. Now, who's Seth? Seth is the oldest. No, Garth is the one that said he was there the night with his father. Seth is the younger. Garth is the oldest. Remember, they've got 5 kids. Yes, people are entitled to their opinions. They sure are. They really are. And not all opinions people in here or whatever are going to want to hear. They can block them. Now, Dean technically explains how he analyzed the first Blu-ray disc to find out what was on it. Mohawk Mom says Blu-ray disc is usually a higher quality of a recording. Cheryl, I'm sure the jury is listening. I mean, how could they not? Angel Donmeyer says Chad's children is Emma, Garth, Mark, Leah, and Seth. Thank you, Angel. And that's by age. She's got that listed by their age. Y'all, let's not get distracted. Let's get focused on this case. God knows I've gotten myself in trouble many, many times with my opinions. Thank you, Miriam D. Yeah, J. Blake. No one really ever, I mean, unless you're put in that position, these adult children of Chad Daybell, they look like they're standing strong for their father. A lot of people are like, well, that's nice. You know, they love their dad, but what about their mother? Don't they care to stand up and be her voice? Again, Dean technically explains how he analyzed the first Blu-ray disc to find out what was on it. And we're waiting to find out what was on it. The first Blu-ray disc contains information obtained from Tammy Daybell's cell phone, y'all. This is really big news. Dean says there were emails to and from Tammy and communication on the device with members of the Daybell family. Wow. Renee says, oh... Y'all, this is information obtained from Tammy Daybell's phone. The content shows the user of the device had a close relationship with the Daybell family. There were also photos of Tammy on the device with her husband, kids, and grandkids. Alice X says, juicy, juicy. Janelle Murphy says, oh. Harley62 says, hee. Oh, wow, says Treva Lavick. Lollipop Guild says, interesting. Cook Goose says, haven't heard this before. Okay, y'all, let's see what is on here. Again, this shows that the user of the device had a close relationship with the Daybell family. There were also photos of Tammy on the device with her husband, kids, and grandkids. And that's something that I knew, but I had forgotten. Tammy was a grandmother too. She was a sister. She was a mother. She was... Okay, Ramel asked Dean whether Tammy Daybell's phone received any text messages on September the 9th of 2019. Y'all know this is a crucial date. It was either the 8th into the 9th that Tylee Ryan was murdered. She was dismembered, chopped up, and put in the pet cemetery. Dean says there was a message sent from Chad to Tammy, and I think most of us know about this one. I think we know what this is. That's right, Cook Goose in Florida. It's about the raccoon. Trigger warning, says Language of Horses. Raccoon sighting and burning limbs, says Mohawk Mom. Raccoon breaks my heart as well, Angel says. Spill the beans, Alice X says. I know, I'm waiting, y'all. I'd like for them to get it to us quicker. The old raccoon, says Katara. The invisible graveyard of the raccoon that never existed, says Amazing Lynn. Oh, do you think Chad even stopped to think about how much of a damn idiot he was for sending that text? Oh, Lord. You know, when you add burning, shooting, pet cemetery, and it's all within 11 minutes of Alex Cox being there, and Alex was there. They already had it on. The FBI had the GPS cast unit get him there. Oh my goodness. I hope John Pryor's listening up, y'all. All right, Spencer Ramel asked to admit a copy of a text message exchanged between Chad and Tammy on September 9th of 2019. And we know what this is, y'all. But maybe we'll learn more. Lollipop Gill says, Shadow Raccoon. Right, Sheila Forrest. Stupid is as stupid does. Bullseye says, I live in Florida and I see raccoons in the day all the time. Well, I'm here in Tennessee and they're nocturnal. They don't come out in the day unless they've got rabies or something. Unless they're really sick or with rabies. We're waiting on it, y'all. Cook Goose says, I'm in Florida and I've never seen one in the day. I guess it depends on what region in Florida you're in. And who knows? Maybe this person that has seen it, that's just something they've gotten to see that other people hadn't seen. Right, Treva Lavick. Ooh, Bullseye lives on a preserve. Marilyn says she lives in Florida and she sees them in the day and says she lives near the woods. See, that's what's not really unclear about this. Is some people think that Chad had to account for the sound of the shot, but let's just stop for a minute. Why would he have to account for that shot if Tammy's nowhere around? You know what I'm saying? I think the more reasonable thing is he had to let her know why the pet cemetery was disturbed, and in order for it to be disturbed, something had to be buried in it. Of course, he knew what was being buried in it, but I mean, what would it, he wouldn't have had to tell her anything about shooting anything to hide the fact that something was shot. And the reason I say this is because some people think that Alex or Lori or one of them went out to Chad's with Tylee and maybe perhaps went inside one of those sheds and shot her while she was in there. We are still waiting, y'all. It's just, to think that they would have taken a live girl out to Chad's in the middle of the day and shoot her there, it don't seem realistic. What seems realistic is she was murdered over there in Lori or Alex's apartment. They loaded her up through the garage, probably, tarps or something. And then when they got to Chad's, maybe they used a wheelbarrow or something and put her in the shed, dismembered her in the shed. Remember the DNA of Tylee's on a pickaxe. And then little by little, they were taking it out of the shed to put on the fire, and they were tending the fire, and they realized, oh, this is hard work, burning a body. Hence, they shoveled up what was left so they wouldn't have to burn it down completely because it was taking too long. Put it in the green bucket, put it in the grave. Because the flesh was probably still hot, it melted the green bucket. Ramel asked Dean to read the text message and timestamp. The first message was at 11:53 a.m. from Chad to Tammy, talking about shooting a raccoon in the yard at 11:56 a.m. So he's texting Tammy 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Let's see. First message was from Chad, shooting a raccoon in the yard. And then 3 minutes later, Chad sent another text saying he was going to shower and then write at BYU. And this is where Grace and I were talking about this, that if he really was going to shower and go right at BYU, you know it and I know it, BYU would have parking surveillance, indoors surveillance. They can prove Chad Daybell did not go to BYU. Chad Daybell most definitely, I'm sure, took a shower because he'd been out there chopping up Tylee's body. And by the way, let me back up a little bit. Over the earlier testimony, you tell me why the defense brought up the scratch on Chad's neck in relation to Melanie and David Warwick sleeping that night. Lori's told him something. Chad, I believe Chad was there. Okay, so the last message was at 11:56 a.m. before Chad said he was going to go to BYU and write. That's almost, let's see, 2.5 hours later, at 2:47 p.m., Tammy wrote to Chad, "Good for you." A minute later, Chad wrote to Tammy, "I'm back home now." So he said at 11:56 that he was going to take a shower and go right at BYU. Okay, how long is he taking a shower? He was probably jerking his gherkin, but let's just say he only had 5 minutes. Okay, so that's 12:05, 12:10. Then he has to get in his vehicle, go to BYU, and he's back at 2:48. He wasn't there very long, was he, y'all? He went in, sat down, wrote about, 1 hour, and got up and left? It's not reasonable. Dean says the first message from Chad to Tammy stood out to him because normally their text exchanges were very short. Dean says this message appeared to be the first and only time wherein Chad texted Tammy a rather detailed and step-by-step explanation of his day's events in any sort of a narrative style. Dean says the date of the text message stood out to him because he was originally assigned to look for tips about JJ and Tylee from Yellowstone on September 8th of 2019. So what he's saying is he was investigating anything around September 8th, but when he saw this text that was close to September 8th, which was September 9th, it caught his eye. He wasn't even looking at that for what he figured it out to be. He was looking for any tips for the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee. How dead smack on was he? You know what I'm saying? Then Chad sent the message the next day, and Dean became concerned because the text was sent the day after Tylee was last seen alive. Ramel has no further questions for Dean. And Archie has no questions for Dean, and he is released from the witness stand. It's BYU, Idaho. I guess that's Brigham Young University. Yes. I'm assuming they've got more than one campus. Right, Jody Allen. This isn't a lengthy witness. Okay, folks. The next witness on the stand is Rexburg Police Detective Stubbs. And as many of y'all remember, it was Stubbs who was there with the welfare check, I believe. It was Stubbs Hope Hermosillo, I believe. That's what I'm talking about, Shirley. That's what Nate Eaton said. And I didn't say it. I was just repeating what he says. He said before lunch, he said the next witness would be fairly lengthy, but that's, maybe he meant, I don't know what he meant. Maybe he just thought that. They had BYU, Provo, Utah, Hawaii, Idaho. Cindy Kay says maybe he thought Archie would wake up. Maybe they shuffled the witnesses, says Mohawk Mom. Okay. I'm waiting for this stuff, Michelle Wordle. I'm waiting for them to play some audio, at least something. I mean, I was hoping on the Blu-ray disc we were going to see some serious stuff. We're not seeing much. It's important testimony, y'all, but it's not what I'm looking for. I know, Cook Goose. Right, it, Janelle Murphy. Why'd they even bring up the discs? I don't know. I just don't know. But for any of y'all, I don't mean to sound redundant to the race because y'all already know this, but some of y'all are new to this. Chad Daybell did send a text message to his wife, Tammy, the day that Tylee was dismembered and burned and put in the pet cemetery. And he just so happened to say in the text message, I'm burning limb debris because of the coming storms. But at the same time, I saw a raccoon walking across down a fence line, and one shot did the trick. Oh, fun times, says Chad Daybell. And it was within 11 minutes of Alex Cox spending over 2.5 hours on that property. And guess where Alex went after he got through helping Chad dismember Tylee and burning her and all that stuff? He went to Del Taco. That's what Alex Cox did. You know what, John Shepard? There was nothing left but a bucket of flesh, a partial skull. I'm sure they had to break her down pretty good to get her burnt, at least to that point, in the 2.5 hour period. And that's as bold as it gets, y'all, in the middle of the day. And many of y'all have seen Chad Daybell's backyard. It has no concealment in it. It's got a small bush tree in it and one tree over at the other side by a dried up pond where they buried JJ. These people are sick. They need to go in front of an Idaho firing squad. That's what they need. And then they should have their bodies chopped up and burned up. Let them enjoy it. I know, THX, it's awful. But you know what? We've been dealing with this for 2 years. We haven't become numb to it. But all I'm wanting is some damn justice. And I'm madder than hell about the whole thing. We're waiting on Detective Stubbs, y'all. Right, just me, hi DP. Yeah, I've been mad as hell. Y'all know it. Jennifer Sokup says horrific. Y'all, this is what Chad and Lori, Alex, and I'm telling you. I'm telling you, these other cult members, they did not have to know the specifics about how they died or what they did to conceal them. The bottom line is my opinion. I'll never, ever, no one will ever tell me otherwise. All these other cult members, they knew that Tylee and JJ were murdered. They knew it. Does some of y'all remember when I went to Idaho and we took that tour of that old prison? And I said, y'all realize this prison is an old prison, but it gives us some idea of things. And they had a whole wall. And in the glass of the wall, it was like a case. It had every kind of homemade shank, knife, ice pick looking things with a bent hook on them. I hope Chad gets a good view of that when he goes to prison. That's right, Kathleen Curtis. Just think if nobody would have ever found the kids. Lori and Chad would still be doing the Hawaiian luau over there in Hawaii. Daughter of Scotland, there are a few things here and there that are new that we didn't know. Little details. I get what you're saying, though. I don't know what's taking them so damn long for Detective Stubbs. That was 7 minutes ago, y'all. Yeah, and 2 vets. Yes, y'all have. Y'all have made it a backup plan in Idaho if you live there for a firing squad. Hi, Maxine. I didn't see your question because everything's going so fast. Are they, Michelle Wordle? They're in a sidebar again? Wonder why Nate didn't let us know that. uh, Nothing is more devastating than hearing about those graphic photos last week. Besides that, hearing Kobe so upset, that really got to me. But most importantly was Kay Woodcock's testimony and Brandon Boudreaux's testimony. That was so heart-wrenching. Yes, staying classy. Lori, she did go to Hawaii, and she told April Raymond in yesterday's testimony that, you know, you got important things to do, and your agency or whatever as a mother is over, April. You got to leave your kids with your husband and come with me. What a crock of shit. Detective Stubbs is dressed in a suit, white shirt, and red tie. Rachel Smith says she plans to admit business records and other documents during the testimony. That's right. Someone's just K-Tex just reminded everyone they have not given the cause of death on the children yet. They have alluded to it, that Tammy was asphyxiated in opening statements. So that is going to be a big bombshell. I just don't see how they're going to ever be able to say how Tylee died. All right, now Rachel Smith is listing the exhibits, y'all. They include Amazon records, insurance information, travel records, documents concerning Spring Creek Book Company, and Tammy Daybell's Gmail account, and y'all, her Fitbit records. Wonder what that's going to tell us, y'all. Wonder, huh? Y'all think when she got home from work, that Friday evening after work, where overnight she ended up dead, you think there'll be anything on that Fitbit watch, huh? Or as Michelle L. says, she was healthy. Maybe they got it in her just to say, look, this woman was very healthy. Look, here's her stuff on her Fitbit watch. And like Mom said, Tammy was training for a marathon, just as we all knew. Oh my gosh, bullseye. Y'all, what if the Fitbit tells us, as Bullseye says, that it's when her heart stopped? Oh my gosh. Wow, that takes a brilliant mind to come up with that. Whoa, this whole narrative of Chad's down the shitter. What do y'all think? Huh? That was a good one. Man, y'all just impress the living hell out of me when y'all come up with these things. John Shepard, the reason they treated Tylee's body so bad, this is my theory. This is my hypothesis. And trust me when I say I really don't want to think the worst. But after hearing that Chad convinced Zulema that she was raped and murdered and dismembered when she was 14, I would say the way these people deal with patterns, that they probably did her that way to hide evidence of a rape and the murder. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying there's a good possibility. Nobody wants to say it, but I will. They absolutely destroyed Tylee. And just look at it like this. Y'all remember, what, 2 years ago I was saying the reason that they didn't do JJ the same way as they did Tylee's because it was a lot of hard work and it was a lot harder to burn that body? Well, JJ wasn't a little bitty guy. He was 7 years old. He was kind of a big boy, for his age. But I'm rethinking that now. It really didn't have nothing to do with it was going to take too long to burn that body. Remember, y'all, Tylee was dark. JJ was light. Remember, y'all, the testimony is you can get rid of these evil spirits from what? Fire and binding them up. Rachel Smith continues to list the exhibits, which include cell phone records, hotel receipts, business documents, and life insurance information. Right, Sugar Magnolia. So, y'all, we're waiting for more specificity, but we do know these exhibits have been entered. Again, this is in Amazon records, insurance information, travel records, documents concerning Spring Creek Book Company that Tammy and Chad own, Tammy's Gmail account, and her Fitbit records, cell phone records, hotel receipts, business documents, and life insurance information. That's okay, Jody. They're just entering a bunch of information, all this different forms of information into a list of exhibits. So you haven't really missed much specificity in terms of what those items say. Yes, Patty and Pete, I believe that, but I also believe Chad used to be a gravedigger. I mean, how creepy is that? That guy is creepy. That's some scary ass stuff right there. You know, Tylee's cause of death, and I get where you're coming with that, but what I'm saying is that they're going to have to say undetermined. We all know that couldn't have been an accident, right? It's been ruled a homicide just out of the sheer fact of all the evidence and the way that I mean, obviously, the grand jury came back, just because you can't find a cause of death, the circumstances surrounding it speaks volumes. Don't you agree? Hey, Shasta Shah. I hope I'm saying these things right. I'll tell you something that I'll never forget, y'all, when it comes to any of the way that they found the children and everything. 2 words, y'all. 2 words. Blue blanket. Tells me everything I need to know. Tells me everything I need to know. Beach lady, you know, I think that's probably possible. But if you take into consideration, did they use an accelerant? Did they? I mean, I'm sure that they could test something, and that we know they tested the flesh and all that for DNA, but I don't see how they could find the cause of death. Rob Wood towed Summer Shiflett back when Lori was first arrested. They may never know how Tylee died. And even if Lori or Chad came out and said exactly how Tylee died, could you rely upon that? Could you believe them? I mean, we've seen other cases where people have destroyed bodies, and then when they got charged with it, they said, well, what happened is they hit their head, and I got scared, and so I disposed of the body. Or, I didn't murder them, they OD'd. You know, those are reasonable doubt things. But see, the good news is that can't be used on Tylee, because you got what? You got JJ. And you've got 2 separate times, folks, that these murders took place. This didn't happen on the same day. We have a lot of financial exhibits being admitted into evidence. They include Tammy Daybell's Walmart prescription information, lots of cell phone records, and more life insurance records. So that's what's the holdup right now, y'all. No, not for 1 second. Not 1 second have I ever thought that JJ was buried alive. I don't believe that. I don't believe it at all. And I also believe they will. They absolutely will have a cause of death for J.J. Ballo. And I thank God for that. I believe it. He was very well preserved. There was some decomposition, but folks, when Ray Hermosillo said that even though the coloring was different, he could tell for sure that was J.J. Ballo, I just have this faith deep in my heart that they know how JJ died. Good afternoon, Elizabeth Gregory. We are currently waiting for all these exhibits, these different records and things to be entered into evidence so that this witness, Detective Stubbs can talk more specificity about them. Yeah, I believe that, John Shepard. Angel Bogart, I really think they had to do something to incapacitate Tylee. They couldn't take her on, you know, just her not having, either she was drugged or, you know, they knocked her out, knocked her in the back of the head or something. Something. Rachel Smith will now question Detective Stubbs. He has been involved in law enforcement for 30 years and is the second line supervisor over the Rexburg Police Department Detective Division. And I appreciate all of y'all for being patient with this. We've never had to go blow by blow on a freaking tweet, but I appreciate y'all's patience. Now, Detective Stubbs specializes in collecting evidence from cell phones, computers, and other electronic devices. He estimates he's analyzed hundreds of devices over the years. I know for a fact the Rays and I never thought this is what it was going to come down to. And then we got to wait for the audio to come out later on in the evening. It's not fair, really. Well, I'm glad you're happy to be a Ray. I'm glad that anybody would be happy to be a Ray. A Ray is research analysis and you. And it's your own, whatever you think it means. It's all up to you. OKJ is a facilitator / Ray myself. Now, Detective Stubbs' first involvement with this case started on November the 1st of 2019. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office had been given information from authorities in Arizona who were interested in finding a Jeep Wrangler with a Texas license plate they believed was involved in a shooting in Arizona. Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreaux kind of led the way on this. They had to go through what they had to go through in order for this to move forward, y'all. And it's so sad. Isn't it, Dawn? It's sad. It's so sad how this case turned out. You know, earlier during the lunch, Justin Lum had done a little segment with Fox 10 of Phoenix, and he was talking on there, and at the end he said that he basically said there was a lot of Chandler law enforcement in this trial, and he said maybe they can make up for what the victims' families felt like they let them down. And I thought, there you go. Way to go, Justin. Way to go, Justin Lum. Because Chandler did let them down. Now, police were given the names of Lori and Alex and JJ and Tylee. They were associated with the Jeep, and the officers went to the residence where they set up surveillance in different locations surrounding the apartment. They were unable to locate the Jeep that day, but the vehicle was found on November the 4th. And as many of y'all know, November 4th of 2019, when they found that Jeep, they impounded it. Hello, Tammy Bell. Liza Joe, I really believe Lori was an active participant in a lot of this. And conspiracy as well. She was the planner, don't you know? You know what, Robbie Martin? I thought about that. I thought about what if Alex Cox never would have died. I think this would have actually been harder, honestly. Harder for them to really not give any credence to it being Alex. You know, he's alive and well, sitting at a defense table. I think, you know, yes, they could easily say, well, he was there at the time. Even though he's dead now, we could still say he done it. It just seems like Alex dying really has made it really tougher on Lori and Chad. Because yes, they can point to Alex Cox because he's not here to defend himself. But I just believe that the evidence that we've seen on the witness stand thus far about how Alex would do anything for his sister. The jurors heard Chad giving Alex a blessing about how he's, you know, you're here to protect your sister and all this bullshit. Just the evidence of knowing that Alex was a follower. He wasn't a leader. He was told who he was. He did what his sister told him to do. I think it works better and in favor of the state to get a conviction on Chad and Lori now that Alex Cox is burning in hell. Now listen to this, y'all. While they were conducting surveillance for the Jeep, Stubbs witnessed Lori and Chad getting into a blue Subaru. Officers followed them, hoping it might lead to the Jeep. Chad and Lori ended up in Idaho Falls, where they stopped at Mountain American Credit Union before going into Hobby Lobby. Oh, that we got testimony yesterday that Mountain American Credit Union was Chad's bank there, and y'all remember there were 2 installments of Tammy's blood money given him before he got married to Lori and after he got married. I think it was November the 1st and November the 16th was the last installment. And as y'all know, we've already heard the testimony of Cafe Rio and Hobby Lobby. But now we know that it's a good possibility that Chad was going to get some money from dead Tammy's blood money there from a Mountain American Credit Union. And he's going to take his bride-to-be to Hobby Lobby. Yeah, Hobby Lobby. What could they possibly be buying at Hobby Lobby? And if you got an answer and you really believe, hey, this could have been like they're shopping for decor for their wedding or they're just browsing or whatever. The bottom line is no matter what they purchased at Hobby Lobby, it's the end of the damn world coming, folks, y'all. Why buy anything at Hobby Lobby? Really? Of Gloria Frisk says malachite stones. The portal handle. Malachite beads, says Jody H. Fake flowers for the wedding, just like them. They're fake. That could have been right. John Shepherd, Hobby Lobby is this great big box store that sells everything in it from arts and crafts to put together decor. It's got a lot of arts and craftsy type things. Everything from a whole aisle of paint brushes to oils and watercolors and glitter and then they got already stuff that's been put together, or you can get stuff to put together. It's crazy. It's their portal kit, says Okie Dokie. Oh, Marilyn says they sell the same lace that Chad and Lori were wearing in Hawaii. Well, that makes sense. Lynette says Hobby Lobby is hobby craft in the UK. Michelle L. says they're wedding unity candles. Right, Tammy Bell. They sell damn ukuleles in Hobby Lobby, says Curly Shirley. Now, Detective Stubbs took photos of Chad and Lori walking toward the store. Copies of the pictures are shown to the jury and everyone's watching the trial. Detective Stubbs says, my observations are they were holding hands at times talking. I witnessed Lori at times placing her hand on his shoulder as they walked toward the store. Chad is wearing a blue t-shirt and Lori is wearing a black sweatshirt. I wonder if that black sweatshirt is as black as her damn heart and as big as her damn black hole. Now, Rachel Smith asked if Stubbs was aware of the relationship between Chad and Lori at the time, and he says he'd been told they were together. The Jeep was found November 4th in the parking lot outside of apartment 175. The vehicle was towed to a secure impound lot, and the owner listed on the registration was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan. Are you sure? I thought it was in Charles Vallow's name, y'all. It says the owner listed on the registration was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan. Does that sound strange to y'all? I thought Charles Vallow did this. I thought it was in Charles Vallow's name. Why is Nate Eaton telling us listed on the registration was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan? Unless they're going to tell us this was a fake or a forgery or something. Oh, Eric. Eric thinks that, yeah, I knew Tylee was making the payments. I'm not saying that Tylee's name wouldn't have been on there, but I thought it was Charles Vallow. The Texas license plate was in the name of Charles Vallow. Yeah, Tina Reddington. Nate Eaton is saying right here the owner listed on the registration was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan. And that Jeep was bought April of 2019, so how in the hell? Joe Ryan been damn dead since 2018. So Nate must have got it wrong or something. Because I remember, I've even heard testimony that it was in Charles Vallow's name. Now, Detective Stubbs says nobody ever inquired about the Jeep, where it had gone, why it was towed, nothing. Stubbs says police even reached out and tried to talk to someone, but were unsuccessful. So, number one, Tylee had only made, 3 payments on it? And it was bought in April of 2019. That was the testimony from you, either yesterday or the day before. And so Lori didn't want to pay for the Jeep anymore. Lori said we don't need the Jeep anymore. I don't know. Lisa Fisher, Joe Ryan died at the end of 2018, I believe. So Tina Reddington, do you know when Joe Ryan passed away or could have been murdered, whatever? Suspicious death there. Somebody tell this person. Joe died February of 18. Thank you, Carolyn A. Miss Vixen says April of 2018. Brittany Cauldron, what I'm trying to say is there has been, especially this whole thing about the investigation into the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. There was all kinds of stuff in there saying that the Texas license plate was registered under Charles Vallow. And now they're saying this was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan. That's what I heard too, Bethy Boo. But Nate Eaton is saying the owner listed on the registration was Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan. And I don't understand that. Charles Vallow bought the Jeep for Tylee is what I've always believed. Eric, that's all what I was thinking. If it does say that, maybe she put Joe Ryan back on it. Remember when she rented the storage unit? Lori Ryan, she's trying to hide, conceal herself. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. These people were real good at hiding. They just were. Now, Detective Stubbs says on November the 26th, and y'all know that was the day of the welfare check, police were asked to go back to Lori's apartment after Kay Woodcock requested a welfare check to be done on J.J. Vallow. And thank God for Kay Woodcock, a wonderful, wonderful woman. Wayne and I spent time with Kay and Larry and Cresha and Jason and their family down in Louisiana. Wonderful people. Kay Woodcock, so proud of her. So proud of Cresha and Larry. Yeah, that's right, Sugar Magnolia. We've always known it was Charles Vallow. But Nate Eaton, and I just don't see how Nate is telling us this now. I'm looking at his tweet. Said it was in Joe Ryan and Tylee Ryan's name. I don't understand that. Either it's a mistake. I don't know. Yep, that's right, Gloria Fritz. Lori boarded a plane under Lori Ryan when she wasn't. Also, remember when she was in Hawaii, the first time she had disappeared for 58 days? April Raymond talked about how at one point when they came back, when her and Chad came back, Lori visited a clinic under an assumed name. These people know how to dang hide. It's scary, really. I guess they're scared or they're concerned about these dark canes, law enforcement. I'm being facetious, by the way. Okay, little bronze. I really should quit, but I just enjoy it too much. Waiting on a refresh, y'all. Yeah, Michelle L. It's very rare that Nate Eaton gets mixed up. I mean, how do you get Joe Ryan and Charles Vallow mixed up? Again, we know for a fact that that Jeep was purchased April of 2019, and April of 2019, and Joe Ryan died in 2018, a year before. So he couldn't have had his name on it. I think my brain's turning to jello now, y'all. But I'm doing it for the Rays on here. Okay, so Detective Stubbs says he and Lieutenant Ball went to the apartment. They knocked on the door of apartment 175 and were able to make contact with Lori. Detective Stubbs was wearing a body camera. Smith asked to admit the body camera footage. All right, so we remember that, y'all. Maybe Nate will tell us more detail because we heard the body cam footage of her talking her BS. Well, I wonder if it's body cam. Did they have their body cameras on when they walked up and Chad and Alex was unloading the truck into Lori's garage? Because they ran into them first before they went up there to talk to Lori. But I'm assuming, y'all, this will be about Lori. They come to the door. She acts like she don't know Chad, that he's just a friend of Alex's, and the police know she's been married to Chad for 2 weeks. She lies and says that her brother's wanting to kill her for her life insurance. She lies and says that JJ's with Melanie Gibb in Arizona in a movie called Frozen. They tell Melanie Gibb to take pictures of random kids and send it to them so they can show the police. These people are idiots. Deborah says that Joe Ryan died on April 4th of 2018. So, yeah, but the Bethy Boop says Larry said Charles bought the Jeep in Cameron recent interview. I know we're right about this, so Nate is wrong, and Nate usually isn't wrong. Smith is now playing the body camera footage for the jurors and those in the courtroom. It's about 5 minutes long. Or maybe Nate Eaton just got it wrong, y'all. Maybe he's been sitting in that damn bench all damn day and his brain is jello just like old KJ's and all of ours. Little Brian's, don't hotbox it now. KJ's gonna smoke my cigarette just like those women in those fancy movies. Y'all ready? I love my cigarettes. It brings me wrinkles and my lungs love it. Join me for a gherkin time. Summer, are you laughing at me? CC Johnson, 67, 1979 ACR, Jody Allen, daughter of Scotland, are y'all laughing at me? I'm reading them, Michelle L. I am. I'm waiting for the refresh here. The video has audio and shows Stubbs walking up to the door with Detective Ball. It's a sunny day with clouds in the sky, no snow on the ground. Stubbs says to Ball, "Her car is out there too. It's in the back, a blue Subaru." And Ball knocks on the door. Man, I bet these detectives, these law enforcement guys here had no idea how damn big of a bombshell this case was going to be. Okay, Pamela. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, says Tracy Dale. So they're explaining now. Detective Stubbs is on the stand. He is explaining, well, he's not explaining. Nate Eaton is explaining what he's seeing about Detective Stubbs and this other gentleman, Detective Ball, walking up to the door. I know, Deborah Tutela. I know it is unfair, but this is what we got. Okay? Until later on, the audio will come out. You know, it's one thing to see things, y'all. We do want to see it. We are, a lot of us are very sensitive to body language and all, and the looks in people's eyes and all that stuff. The bottom line is this is reality. This is what we got. And we should listen with our ears when we get the audio later on tonight. It's just, I'm going to be honest with you. The Rays deserved me to do this every day, because what would have happened if I wouldn't have done this? We'd all been stuck on Twitter going back and forth all damn day long. I know I ain't the damn best moderator, but damn, it's just easier to do it this way. It's not fair. It isn't, but this is what we got. And we're trying to make the best of it. All right, now listen up, y'all. Lori let the officers in, and Lori says JJ is in Arizona with one of her friends, Melanie Gibb. Lori says, "What is this all about?" And Ball says that they're concerned, and officers who were there earlier got a bad vibe because they couldn't find JJ. And Lori says one of her brothers is trying to kill her for her $2 million life insurance policy. A lot of stuff has gone on this past year and has been horrible for us, says Lori. We've had to move around, says Lori. So Lori says that JJ went to school at Kennedy for 2 months. Lori says that Kay has been fighting her for access to JJ. Now Lori is saying her husband switched his life insurance policy to Kay, and she got the $1 million. She was going to try to sue me for JJ, and I had nothing, says Lori. Well, let me tell you something. Kay was fighting to have a precondition. There was a precondition on that adoption that Kay and Larry were going to have a relationship with JJ. Just because Charles Vallow got murdered doesn't mean that Kay and Larry has to relinquish their rights to be in JJ's life. And all this other stuff, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where this would have led had she not murdered JJ entirely. But I can tell you this right now, at this point, Kay and Larry had every right to go into court, which they did when they took off, and try to get temporary custody of JJ. Because this was very unsafe. And I'm going to tell you what, Lori is about as evil and diabolical as they come. I just can't say that enough, y'all. She does nothing that wants but to cause me trouble. I don't tell people the truth about where we are or what we're doing. Lori says everyone is causing her trouble. No, the reason that Lori is trying to hide and all that, and that she don't want to tell anyone where she's at, because they premeditated and murdered Charles Vallow. Then they decided they were going to take murder the kids, and they did that. Now she's in trouble up to her damn asshole. That's the trouble right there. She does nothing but want to cause me trouble. Give me a break. Lori Daybell is the only one that caused anybody any trouble. Lori is the one that ruined people's lives. Lori's the one that absolutely used and abused every man she ever got with. She used her children. She treated her children like shit by lying to them, telling them things that wasn't true about themselves to make themselves feel bad about themselves. When you've got a governmental children's service saying they felt like Lori coached Tylee at a very young age to believe that Joseph Brown was a bad man and that he was molesting her, Tylee grew up believing something that was most definitely, in my view, not true. It's called false memories. You can plant them in little children, and Lori, the deviant, evil woman she is, did it. Lori says she's going to go back to Arizona because school was too hard for JJ. Lori has her arms folded across her chest as she speaks with the officers. She blames everything on Kay, and Stubbs tells her that their main concern is the child. It's awful. I feel like I'm being tracked all the time. Well, I'll tell you what, you damn whore. You damn right you're being surveyed. Damn right you're being tracked all the time. That's probably the only thing you had clairvoyance about, because you knew damn well that you and Alex Cox ambushed Charles Vallow. Detective Ball says that the detectives were at the house earlier that day and they ran into two guys. This is what he's telling Lori. And Lori says one was her brother. Ball asked who the other guy was, and y'all know what she says from there. Lori says that's my brother and his friend. And let's just keep in mind she's been married to Chad Daybell for 2 weeks. He's been diving into that nasty-ass yeast infection, freaking gonorrhea woman from hell for 2 damn weeks. And then Detective Ball asked, well, okay, who's this friend? And she says, Chad. Detective Ball asked about Chad Daybell and says, and he, you know what, y'all? I think he knew the deal because he wanted to see just how far this woman was going to lie to him. The detective says, didn't his wife pass away recently? And Lori says nothing. Of course she ain't going to say anything because she conspired to murder Tammy Daybell. Her and Chad talking all this bullshit about Viola. Give me a break. Lori says her brother in Kansas is trying to kill her, and that would be Adam Cox, y'all, which isn't true. Detective Ball asks if they need to be concerned about him, and Lori says she's moving back to Arizona to live with Melanie Gibb and tells the officers not to tell anyone, and the officers leave the apartment. As the video was being played, Lori in the courtroom, y'all, looked at the screen, took notes, and whispered to her attorney. I'm sure she whispered to her attorney, well, I just had to tell him whatever I had to tell him to get him off my back. I just had to get them off my back because, you know, Chad's been riding my back, doing it doggy style with me for 2 weeks now, and actually over the last year, as we both were having damn adulterous affairs on our spouses. Y'all, she's so slutty. She's such a liar. She is so burying herself. I mean, just stop a minute and think about this. This woman has lied so much that she actually believes that these people are going to take her BS and believe it. Piggyback rides? Let me tell you something. Chad didn't have to jerk that gherkin anymore, didn't he? He didn't have to jerk that gherkin. You know it and I know it. Detective Stubbs thought it was interesting that Lori referred to Chad as her brother's friend. Detective Stubbs had seen Lori and Chad affectionately at the Hobby Lobby parking lot, and they were aware that the two had gotten married. Now, let me just stop there. Y'all remember, the Rays on here, remember we said they knew that they'd been married. Well, we didn't know that they also knew through video surveillance of them that they were being affectionate at Hobby Lobby and Cafe Rio and all these other damn places. During the visit, Stubb was concerned about officer safety as Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope had spoken with Chad and Alex earlier that day. Oh, trust me. If Alex would have had could have pulled out a gun on any of these guys, he would have done it. They'd already unloaded that shit into Lori's garage, don't you know? I'm just telling y'all, Chad, Alex, and Lori have to be the most ignorant ass people on the planet, really, to think that they could have gotten away with this. That somehow, some way, that all the people that love Tylee and JJ would just be like, oh, well, we haven't seen Tylee and JJ in years, you know? Or, you know, we haven't seen them in so long. I wonder if they're okay. You know, what was Lori going to tell Janice, the grandmother of these children? Was she even going to talk to Janice Cox again? I'll tell you who's on the stand. It's Detective Stubbs, and he is laying out they played the body cam footage of them walking up to the door and Lori lying through her damn teeth. This was after the children are murdered. This was the day of the welfare check. She lies about everything that comes out of her mouth. Other than when she says they're tracking her. But she was saying somebody else was tracking her. Really, the police had her number. They had her number. They had old Chin's number. They knew shit was about to get real. A 7-year-old, very loved, special needs, autistic little boy just vanishes. A beautiful 16-year-old girl just vanishes. And the mother of those children is sitting here telling everyone in legal documents filed by her attorney that she didn't know before, she didn't know after, and she wasn't the principal offender. Give me a break. John Shepherd, they did. They gave her at least, a couple of deadlines, really. Well, they damn busted her ass in Hawaii. No more Hawaiian luau's for old Lolo there. And when I say during the visit, Detective Stubbs was concerned about officer safety, as Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope had spoken with Chad and Alex earlier that day. Not only, this is Detective Stubbs testifying on the stand, quote, not only were we dealing with a situation where one of these individuals was possibly involved in the attempted shooting in Arizona, but the individuals were being evasive and lying, says Detective Stubbs. Detective Stubbs was concerned that Lori said Alex was there, yet he didn't come downstairs. Detective Stubbs says, quote, my attention was drawn because at the top of the stairs, I could see movements. I was concerned for our safety if someone was to come down and try to surprise us. And that is not an over drama type statement there. We're talking serial killers here who did many financial crimes. Serial killers. These officers put their life on the line to get down to the bottom of this, build a case against that damn whore and that son of a bitch and that dead-ass Alex Cox. My thoughts, my prayers go out to all law enforcement in this moment. Okay, time for an afternoon break. Smith says another video will be shown after the recess, y'all. So, we're going to wait on that. Yeah, I guess you're right on that, Cindy K. There are some bad apples in the bunch. At least most of them. I can agree with that. Mohawk Mom, make no mistake. He was laying in wait. Hi, Mama Bear 72. I've wrote many songs. Y'all want to hear a good one now? This one's an old country song. We're waiting. We got to wait. There's a break. I'm just going to do this quick one. It does sound like another song, and I don't think YouTube will bump me off by saying it. But I'm going to try to sing it. Here it goes. Well, there was this fat chin. He wanted a prostitute to come in. He tried everything he could, and she reciprocated by having fun with his, you know what. But he stopped loving her today. He can't get his Johnson off. And they're gonna carry that whore away. 'Cause Chad stopped loving Lolo today. So Chad is in the jail. And Bubba's putting him through hell. And Lori doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. And Alex Cox is waiting for them there. And Chad stopped loving Lolo today. He placed his Johnson in Bubba's hands. And Lolo's been carried to Pocatello and away. Oh, the king and queen stopped loving today. Right, Donald. I sound so much like that copyrighted song. They're going to kick me right off of YouTube. Oh, this is what's sitting behind a computer for nearly 6 hours today, I'll do to y'all. So we're in a break right now, and you know, that was live, said Jody Allen. It really is. All my LDS friends are coming over tonight. Could y'all imagine a song called In-Home Meetings? We talk about all the murder. We talk about being so absolutely spiritual. We like to have our fun. Oh, we're a bunch of crazy ass people. We love to do all kinds of crazy things. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm going to be on Planet 788. We talk about those demons. We talk about the afterlife. We don't know how to sing, but that's okay. We got that nice firelight. Light and dark. Let me rate you, baby. Oh, light or dark. Let me find out if you're a 4.2. Let me see if you're light or dark. If you're not a light one, baby, I'm gonna really take you out. Don't be a dark person. If you are, we're gonna kill your ass. Oh, Lord. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. I'm gonna do it to it while we're in a break. Y'all know me. I'll let that. I ain't afraid. You ready? Here it goes, y'all. Now listen up. This ain't about the cult members. This is about old KJ. Wanting to share a story with you. You ready? Here it goes. I'm the Lady Devastator, plain and simple. Some of my friends know me as Dimples, but ladies in the place, I want you to know about this guy named Romeo. I was hanging with the girls when he walked in. This real fine guy in the blue sheepskin. The music was kicking, my heart was ticking, trying to get his attention, but nothing was clicking. My friend said, girl, don't you know that is the guy they call Romeo? Then it was plain to see that this guy was right for me. So I danced his way, looking real sweet. I said, why you feel with such conceit? He said, I've been this way ever since. I'm not conceited, I'm just convinced. I said, excuse me. He said, you're excused. I said, boy, you know who you're talking to. I'm the real, and you know the deal. And right about now, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm not your friend. I'm not your lover. And I'm so glad I'm not your mother. 'Cause if I was, I would hide. Or better yet, commit suicide. So now, what do you have to say? You know, the boy just yawned and walked away. Well, I can't lie. I can't lie. Something tracks me to this guy. That night I cried, but my pride makes me dance from side to side. Now, let them take me off YouTube on that. We've been doing this blow by blow with Nate Eaton, y'all. It's been really hard. Y'all know, thank you, dog mom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel all the flowers flowing in. Y'all are throwing flowers at me right now. Oh, thank y'all. Thank you. The curtain's about to close. Here it goes. Bloop. All right. Oh, Rox Rabbit. Oh, Lord. Anyway, we've had several different witnesses this morning and this afternoon. We are currently in an afternoon break. KJ was getting really, really tired of just sitting here and waiting on Nate. Although I will say that Nate Eaton, God bless him, he has really covered a lot when you consider everything. If you just think about it, he's sitting in that courtroom, he's typing away, he's trying his very best to encapsulate as much as possible. As we all know, we're not really going to get the full meal deal anyway because of no cameras, but the audio will be out later. So we're doing what we can do. I do these things and act silly and all this stuff because I love all the rays on here. Y'all are the best of the best. And most importantly, you are the only you. You are the only you. Yeah, that's right. John Shepherd, I think there was something where he had said something on the Courtroom Insider that his hands or his wrist or something was bothering him. Oh, Lord. Well, I'll take you up on that, Illegally Blonde. I will. I've got a lot of plans for when the adjudication of this case is over to express my love to all the Rays for everything they've been there and saw me through. Y'all mean so much to me. I really mean that. You know, you do something in your life that you think has got purpose, and I do believe it does. Justice through understanding means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I believe in it, in what it means to me. And to know that there are people out here in the world that are loving, caring, compassionate, smart, funny, interesting. I mean, I could go down a whole laundry list. Y'all are really good people. I'm so proud and so blessed that y'all would be there and hang out with me. And for the most part, 99% of the time, or 99% of the people accept me for who I am. And I appreciate that. Nothing's perfect. No one's perfect. It's so hard to think that, we've got examples after examples through history of what mankind does to itself. Everyone in this world is capable of so much devastation and evil and all that. They're capable of it. A human being is. Many of us say we would never do this, we'd never do that, and that's true. But what I am saying is that there is other people in this world that do not have any type of real feeling at all for others. And it's easy for them to do the things that they do to other human beings. And there is nothing worse, in my opinion, than harming a child in any way, whether it's verbal, emotional, physical. A child killer is the worst of the worst as far as I'm concerned. So, don't know how long this break will go on, but it is 2:56 p.m. in Idaho right now. So I am assuming that we'll get about 30 more minutes, 30 more minutes of testimony. Unless they come back after the break and say, let's just call it a day because we're all going to get our taxpayer paid 3-day weekend. Well, really, no, because they would be back on Friday, right? Because today is Wednesday. If they take tomorrow off, that means there'll be testimony Friday. Yes, TJ's race. That's what I believe, that we're all just a big family. I think the world really is. We're all supposed to be brothers and sisters. The problem with that is that it's not the person that I don't like. It's the things they do that I don't like. And there are things that people don't like about me that I do. I'm not saying, they're just, hey, the bottom line is whatever people do in this life, you got to stop and ask yourself, have I done those things? Or am I doing those things now? Yeah, I did too, Karen Holland. It does feel like the end of the week. Is today Thursday? Is it really? Oh, it is Thursday, isn't it? I kept thinking today was hump day. Today is Thursday. You're right. Sorry, y'all. See? Anybody want to share with KJ what you're going to do this weekend? I'd like to know. I'll tell y'all right now that my husband and I are going to go remove some more trees. We love trees, but this is a huge wooded lot that my middle son owns. It's 2.2 acres, and he wants to put a detached garage. And so we're going to go with the chainsaws and the tractor, and we're going to go and we're going to do some work over there on Saturday. So Jody Allen says, concealed carry class on Saturday. Carolyn A. said, visit my mom, trim trees in my yard. All Legally Blind has just adopted a dog. Going to the houseboat in Kentucky, says Beach Lady. Yard work, says CC Johnson 67. Zumba class, Disney cruise. Are you kidding me? Yard work. Michelle Flanagan says working. Maxine says yard work. Melissa Krantz says it's snowing in Minnesota. Jay Guy's mom's going to color her hair this weekend. Donna Donald says yard work and live music. Nicole P's going to get her 2-year-old grandbaby for a few days. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want a grandbaby so bad. Gosh, I pray all the time about it. I didn't see your name, but you said you're doing nothing this weekend. Sometimes doing nothing's just fine. Cold beer, says CC Johnson 67. Dental surgery tomorrow. Oh Lord, on a what? Today's Thursday, so yeah, it's Friday. Okay. Photo local flowers, says Jet Set J. Okie dokies talking about her grandbabies. Sugar Magnolia says weeding my garden and get my garden straight. Oh, Joe Jordan, why'd you have to tell me that? Slow cooked barbecue. Oh, pulled pork sandwiches. Oh, I want it. Beach lover says there something about chilling in the backyard with some cold beer and a book. Now that sounds like something I'd like to do. Kathleen Curtis says, I'm just finishing up COVID. Glad you're getting better, Kathleen Curtis. Painting, resin art, Murray Burks. Well, that's a woman after my own heart. I haven't been able to get to my painting much here lately. Cook Goose has got a daughter who's graduating. Illegally Blonde says, I won't be eating Little Smokies. Anybody going to be having any gherkins? Oh, Lord. I really appreciate y'all sharing yourself with me. It means a lot to me. Cook Goose says it won't be a little gherkin. Well, Cook Goose, my God, you ain't got a damn deal with no gherkin. Get you one of them big-ass dill pickles. I mean, one of them big-ass ones. One that's about damn 2 inches across, about that big around. You know, looks like a big damn cucumber. Get that shit going. And you'll know what's going on. Bye, Marvin. Yeah, it has been a lot to digest this week. It really has. Ooh, the daily book dose is getting over a spider bite. To the eye? Oh, my Lord. Don't rub it in, Marie Burks. My hubby, my daughter, and me are going up to the north to Inverness, Scotland. I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I've been to the UK. I bet it ain't the daily book dose. Tina Reddington likes the pickles in the barrel. Anna Brown's going to spend time with her 10 dogs. Y'all were waiting on a break here. See what they got going on. Wrap it up. Then we'll have to see each other on Monday. But I am going to go live over the weekend, I think, so that the Raisin and I can get together to kind of recap everything. Talk about things that we've absorbed or are trying to absorb. Things we might have learned that are new. Oh, congratulations, Goose. Tell your daughter. Congratulations. A gherkin, I guess, can be sweet or dill. No court tomorrow, Betsy B. They've just decided they're going to take a day off. This is a triple murder case, and they just all decided, since they're on schedule, they're going to take a day off. Mickey Kiker's going to do watercoloring. I love to do watercolors. Okay, we are back in the courtroom and jurors are being brought back in. And again, thank y'all for sharing yourselves with old KJ, answering silly questions and watching me act like a damn idiot, okay? Yes, good grandma. They're going to give them a day off tomorrow. Remember, y'all, before they took this break, Rachel Smith says another video will be shown after the recess. And now they are back in the courtroom and the jurors are being brought in. And I got to fire up a damn cigarette on this one, because wonder what this video is going to be. Because we pretty much knew all about Lori lying through her teeth in that body cam. Which one is this one? Wonder. I don't know about y'all, but it seems like whenever they stop somewhere like they did last Friday and everything, that it's usually something big. So I'm hoping something big will happen about right now. And hey, now that I've got almost 800 people on here, I've got a son is turning 24 in June. I've got Andrew, that many of y'all know, who's 30 years old. And I got another son who's 32. And they're all looking for a good girl. Someone who believes in Jesus. Someone who's got morals. Someone who don't get out here and act like a damn idiot. No one like me, okay? Don't find, if you know, I've got a daughter, granddaughter, do it to it. Yes. No. I don't know F. I have a son named Andrew. Anyway, he'd get madder than hell at me for even asking y'all that. Yeah, Gene P. Andrew is super cute and sweet as pie. Yes, he is. And he's never ever been to jail, and he doesn't do drugs or drink. He don't even smoke. He's always on me about it, about smoking. So, and he's a hard worker, and he owns his own land, and he pays all his bills. He's got excellent credit. We've never done anything to make that happen for him. He's worked his ass off himself. Just keep it in mind, y'all. Yeah, Karen. We got to find him. Karen Holland, we got to find my son a wife. I want some grandbabies, damn it. Detective Stubbs continues his testimony and says they went back to the apartment because Melanie Gibb was not answering her phone. A video will now be played showing the follow-up visit. Gosh, we already know about this. It's the follow-up visit, y'all. It's aggravating. This is where they go back, and they say, well, we can't get a hold of her. And that's when she says, oh, she's probably in the movie theater with JJ. That's probably the one they're talking about. No hussies for sure, says Karen. That's right. Because KJ can spot a damn hussy from a mile away. With my eagle eyes. Hi, Mo. We're waiting on the follow-up visit from the police to Lori's door the day of the welfare check. Andrew F., when I say hussy, it is a bad thing. It might not be a bad thing for a guy, because guys like to get laid, okay? Guys like them loose-ass women, all right? But when I talk about a hussy, that is what I'm talking about. A damn hussy. And Lori is the queen of the hussies, okay? She is the epitome of what a hussy is. And no, a hussy doesn't have to be a child murdering serial killer. But she is a concubine. Yeah, that's something I want you to make sure, if y'all do find my sons anyone, make sure they know how to cook. Because this damn eating fast food and all that crap ain't gonna work. No, it's not Andrew F. I don't know who Andrew F. is. I've got a son named Andrew, but that's not who I'm talking about. And nobody would want to block my son, because my son has got a good heart. He would never do anything. He's not a player. He's not a player. He is a good, hard-working young man. And I think he's good-looking. I know I'm his mama. But damn. All right, the video shows Stubbs back at the apartment with Ball. Stubbs says, let's just see if she will call and have Melanie get a hold of Detective Hope, because apparently she's not answering the phone down there. Ball knocks on the door and loudly and says, Lori, and let's just keep in mind, Chad called Melanie Gibb and said don't answer the phone, and she damn did what that dumbass told her to do. Not only did she not answer the phone, but she eventually lied to him. Lori answers the door and says the reason they can't get a hold of Melanie Gibb is because she is at Frozen 2 with JJ. Now, does that sound like a woman who's trying to rid the zombie out of her son because God wanted her to do it? Give me a break. Detective Stubbs tells Lori to tell Gibb that she needs to call Detective Hope to confirm the whereabouts of JJ. I'll tell you one thing, and I mean this. Y'all know I'm a woman of my word. If my sons ever do marry, and I get a daughter-in-law, I don't know what it's like to have a daughter, but I'll sure treat her like one, and I'll make sure that she has everything she needs. Because if I ever get a grandbaby, it's going to be hard for me not to want to just do everything I can for my daughter-in-law. That's the way I feel about it. The apartment visit was the last encounter police had with Lori that day. Stubbs says officers were able to get a hold of Melanie Gibb that afternoon and evening, and she said she did not have JJ. She was not in Arizona, and they had not been to the movies. Now, y'all, does that sound like the real testimony? No, it isn't. And all we have to do is go back to Chad's preliminary hearing. Melanie Gibb admitted on the stand that she told them that JJ had been with her, but that she sent him back with Lori. Okay? Which was a bald-faced lie, and she said that. She said, yes, I lied. So that's not at all. And she didn't come forward about Chad and calling her and saying not to answer the phone, or Lori and them saying lie for them and everything, until about December 8th. But unfortunately, we're not going to get the real truth out of this. I think most people will be like, oh, KJ, as long as Lori's convicted and sent off to prison, damn it, we want the truth. That's what we want. Or at least that's what I want. That's right, K-Tech. Melanie Gibb lied to them and did not tell them that till 10 days later. But here you have a law enforcement detective saying they got a hold of her that evening and she said that. That's not true. That's not true. Detective Stubbs says after assessing the statements Lori made to law enforcement that day, they were by and large inaccurate. Why didn't he say she's a damn liar? Stubbs lists the inaccuracies that JJ was in Arizona, her daughter was attending BYU, Idaho, the fact Lori said Chad was Alex's friend, etc., etc., etc. I know, Gene P, and I've told my son that. I've always told him that God has got someone picked out for him and that he just needs to be patient. I guess I should have included, when I told him that his mother should be patient too. Thanks for the reality check, Gene P. Kathleen Curtis says Melanie Gibbs' lies have shadowed her future and will take that shame to her grave. You damn Skippy. That's true, KT. And Andrew dated a girl for 5 years when he got out of high school. And she ended up cheating on him and they broke up. And about 4 to 6 months later, he came to me and he said, Mama, I've got to give her a second chance because I can't live my life knowing that if I don't want to have to say to myself, if only I'd given her another chance, maybe it would have worked or something. And in my heart, I wanted to say to him, Andrew, she's cheated on you and lied to you. You deserve better. Don't do it. But I told my son, I respect your decision. He got back with her for a couple of months, and then they haven't seen each other for now about 2 years. So they split up again. But he said he just had to know. He said, Mama, I would want a second chance if I'd done something wrong. So can you argue with that? How many times have any of us had second chances in our life when we've really screwed up? And maybe it wasn't about cheating on people. Maybe it was other things. And a person gave us another chance. This isn't about forgiveness. Because I can forgive. But if somebody does me wrong, I can forgive them and truly in my heart forgive them. Tell them I forgive them. But it doesn't mean I have to be around them anymore. Doesn't mean I even have to like them. Just means that I've come to peace with it and I've talked to my God about it and I've let that person know that I forgive them. And that's how I see it. Yeah, MJ, he did dodge a bullet. After Lori said her brother was trying to come to Rexburg and kill her for the $2 million life insurance policy, Stubbs investigated and said there was no evidence of those claims. Stubbs also discovered Tylee Ryan never enrolled at BYU, Idaho, and JJ Vallow was re-enrolled at a special needs school in Arizona. Both were a lie. While this is being discussed in the courtroom, Lori is paying attention, moving her eyes back and forth between Smith and Stubbs as questions are asked and answered. And make no mistake, y'all, Lori is going on the stand. When the state rests their case and the defense gets started, Lori Daybell is going to the stand. That is my opinion. Me neither, Heather Strock. Andrew S. said Lori turned both cheeks. Yes, she turned both cheeks around to Chad and then spread them apart and said, "Dive in, Chad, dive in." Oh, okay. Voodoo girl, are you laughing at me? Voodoo girl, are you laughing at me? Carolyn A., are you laughing at me? Detective Stubbs says police attempted to get a warrant so they could search for evidence of J.J. Ballo inside the apartment. Warrants were obtained for 3 different apartments in the complex. Stubbs took video footage in the apartment 174 and 175 to document what was inside. And I remember saying that Melanie P. was in apartment 176. She was in 174, I guess. And Lori was in 175. So, again, I'm not perfect. Bismo Funyuns, I don't give a damn what she sounds like. I want to hear her explanations. Yep. Can't wait till that hussy what Melanie P has to say. Says Betsy B. Big Jet, the question is why ain't all those cult members in jail right now? It's a disgrace. I feel sorry for the people that have to live next door to these people. I'd be scared. I wouldn't even want my kids out in the yard playing around there. Could you imagine living next door to Zulema? How about Melanie Gibb? Oh, and this whole thing about Melanie Gibb talking about everybody's saying that David and I are divorced. What a laugh. Well, she ain't exactly with him. And you know why? And this is just a theory, but it makes a lot of sense. They both know. They both know what they know. And because they know what they know, it would be hard to continue a relationship with somebody. Don't you think? Why do you marry someone? And yes, everybody makes mistakes, but Melanie Gibb was so quick to run away from her marriage, even though she says it had nothing to do with Chad and Lori, that it was long gone, long before that. The bottom line, Chad and Lori gave Melanie Gibb the pretext to do it. Melanie P. left her husband. Lori left her husband. Everybody left the people that they made vows with. And Melanie Gibb wants to get married to David Warwick. And now they live in separate states. We're now viewing the video that Detective Stubbs took inside the apartments. He announces that he is entering 175 and recording the whole house. Police served a no-knock entry warrant to get inside. We see the front room and the kitchen. There are keys on the counter. An envelope from Amazon and a package from Amazon was on the front porch. He shows the kitchen, pantry, half bathroom, door leading out to the garage. Inside the garage, there are couches, tables, guns, and several totes. And this was a planned move, don't y'all know? We've got some pretty sarcastic and cynical people in this live stream. Am I rubbing off on y'all or what? Y'all notice that Zulema, in her police interview, she was speaking broken English, barely being able to put words together. That's what these people do. They make you think they can't hardly speak any English. It protects them. But she sounded pretty clear on the stand, don't you think? Yeah, she might have paused here and there. And maybe since that police interview, she's brushed up on her English. The bottom line is she don't sound nothing like she did in her police interview. Tells me everything I need to know. Well, she can take that baby voice of hers, Zulema can, and shove it so far up her ass it winks at her. All right? Because Zulema is guilty. Melanie Gibb is a babbler. She babbles all the damn time. You know, Mel, you want to know it? You want to hear it? Old Mel damn school you, don't you know? Well, y'all, it is 3:29 there. So I don't know much further they're going to go with this witness. Okay, here we go. Detective Stubbs now walks up the stairs. We see the master bedroom with a bed, bath, and closet area. There are no clothes in the closet, and a towel is hanging on the door by the shower. In another room, there are two little computer desks, and a printer with a lease agreement from Self Storage Plus. The name on the agreement is Lori Ryan. There's a laundry room upstairs, a furnace/water heater closet, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. One room has a double bed, a closet with some boxes and clothes. The other bedroom has a bed with bedding on the floor, 3 guitars in cases, and a duffel bag full of toiletries and cologne. There are 2 samurai swords inside the closet and an empty laundry basket. That is the entire house on video. These people sure did get out real quick, didn't they? Melanie Pulaski told Nate Eaton and another news organization that it was a planned move. That's right, Mohawk Mom. They were on the run. A neighbor saw the evening after the police left. They saw Lori and Alex throwing shit in the back of Alex's truck and hauling ass out of there. Now, Carolyn A., my husband Wayne and I have been to Yellowstone National Park. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I refuse to allow these cult members to make us think that it's not good to go to Idaho, or it's not good to go to Yellowstone, or anything like that, or it would be weird to eat an Del Taco, or a Cafe Rio, or Firebirds. Or these people are nut jobs. These people were grifters, like many of y'all have said. It is beautiful, isn't it, Carolyn A.? You just have to keep wondering. I mean, there's no way that any of us could even get into this mindset of these evil people. I've always wondered why. Why did Alex, Lori, and the kids go to Yellowstone National Park that day before Tylee died? Some want to give Lori and them the benefit of the doubt, like there's a humane way to get ready to murder somebody by one last trip with the family. I don't believe that at all. I believe they were probably scouting out places there to dump bodies, or was going to do the killing in the parking lot or over in the woods somewhere. There was a nefarious reason why Lori took her kids to Yellowstone National Park. That's my opinion. And to take those pictures, and to take the picture of JJ on the couch, September 22nd of 2019. These people are deviant, psychopathic, nasty, evil, diabolical, crazy. I could go on forever, y'all. Court is now being adjourned until Monday until 8:30 a.m. I'll post the sketches when we receive them and recap all the events tonight on Courtroom Insider with Nate Eaton, y'all. I plug him because we've been reading his excellent tweets all day. Join me for Courtroom Insider on Facebook or on YouTube. Folks, it's been real. Y'all got to hang another day with OKJ. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll get back together on Monday. Remember, Rays, we'll get together this weekend. Be looking for my live stream announcement. Y'all are the best of the best. We're going to keep on looking. And we're going to absolutely have a great weekend. So, with that said, till next time.